6 years in the UK, 6 years in Scotland. How has it been? How has it been? Oh wow. I don't know how time has flew or flown. I don't know where the time went. Like, I can't believe I moved to the UK early 2019 and this is how I feel so far. Hello, my name is Gloria. In case you're seeing this face for the first time, my name is Gloria. I've been on this space for a while. And I do content about the UK. I share random things and so many things that sometimes you need, but you do not know that you need. If this is anything that interests you, please follow the family, like, subscribe, and I'm on all social media platforms. Now, I've been in Scotland for over 6 years. Wow. This is my update. Like, how has it been? How has Scotland been? Do I regret moving to Scotland? What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? First of all, why did I move to Scotland? That is what I get asked all the time by my patients, patient relatives, and random people that are like, so why Scotland? Why Scotland? I cannot tell you why I chose Scotland, but what I can remember is when I was moving here, I moved there with an agency who has care homes all over. And what I wanted to go originally at the time, because I heard Northern Ireland was a place to be, was Northern Ireland. But they said they didn't have Northern Ireland, so the options was between England or Scotland. And I thought, I'll just go to Scotland. No idea, nothing. I don't know what is in Scotland. I don't know anything about Scotland. The only thing I got on YouTube whenever I browse was you cannot understand their accent when they speak. Yeah, you think I'm crazy? Yeah, yes, I'm crazy. So I moved to Scotland and it's been wonderful. I've told you how or why I chose Scotland. One of the reasons I love Scotland and I still love Scotland 6 years later is friendliness. I know racism is everywhere. You cannot tell. Sometimes it's so subtle, especially in the UK, but in Scotland, I personally feel they are friendlier because I've gone to England and I'm not saying English people are not nice, but I'm saying Scottish people are nicer. Maybe to my face anyway, but they've shown me, and over the 6 years period I've been here, I've never actually physically, directly faced anything that makes me feel, indirectly, yes, definitely, subtle, but I feel like they're more friendly. You can easily come out of your house and somebody will walk up randomly to you and tell you about the weather, ask you where you're from, where you're going, show you directions, take the time to even like leave where they're going and show you where you're going. I think they're friendlier. That is my own personal opinion. And disclaimer, please remember whatever I say in this video or even generally on this page is just from my own perspective. I'm not an immigration expert or anything. I'm just sharing my experience, and you may have a different experience and different opinion, but this is my own personal opinion. Another thing I actually begin now that I'm beginning to see over time and is evident is that for some weird reason, Scottish nurses' salary is a bit higher than the English people or like than what you get in Northern Ireland, England or Wales. I don't know why, but for some reason, over time, whenever there's increment in salary, we continue to get paid higher. And that being said, doesn't mean I'm richer or we're getting loads of money, but averagely, it is, according to statistics, it says a Scottish nurse will earn at least over £1,120 more than their other nursing counterparts in Northern Ireland, England, or Wales. So I can say Scottish people get, I think we get more salary as nurses. That being said, I'm still not rich, so please watch the adverts. Don't skip any of the videos. Share, because we have to do side hustles. Otherwise, there's no way we're going to survive this country. Another thing I feel is I think housing is cheaper when it comes to renting, buying. I'm not saying it is cheaper than it is in Northern Ireland because, Northern Ireland is still kind of the cheapest because you don't pay council tax. Their houses for 4-bedroom, 3-bedrooms, you see that they don't pay as much as England or Wales or Scotland we pay. But I still think Scotland, I don't think our rent is that bad, if you know what I mean. But depending on where you're living, I'm not talking about people who are living in maybe cities like Edinburgh, Glasgow, Aberdeen, that's different. Even I think even Glasgow, the rent is not too bad. Where I live in Five, and as at the time I was still renting, by the grace of God, currently we own a house, but when we're still renting, the last rent we paid was £750 for a 3 bedroom, although one bath, front and back garden, terraced, mid-terrace house. But now I think he's increased the rent. When we left, he increased the rent to about £850, which I think is still reasonable. Hearing what people pay, especially in England, I think house rent in Scotland is still understandable. When it comes to buying, I'm not going to say houses are cheaper in Scotland, but I'm saying it's not bad. It's not bad at all, because we bought a house sometime last year and it's not bad. It's not bad. I feel like being in Scotland, I can continue to maintain my steez. It may sound weird to you. I can continue to maintain my steez. I'm not saying I don't love my country people or my continent people, but I'm saying most of the places I've worked, I've found that I'm actually the only black person in the building. Most of the time, currently when I was in dialysis, I was the only person. When I was in ICU, I was the only person. Although it has its own disadvantage, I feel like I can set my own standard. For instance, when I get asked, like, hey, there's poverty in your country, my question is always back to them as, is there poverty in Scotland as well? Or are there no poor people in the UK? Are there no homelessness? Are there no... The fact that we don't get government support and you get them here doesn't mean there's no poverty, and doesn't mean there are no people who are homeless on the streets, depending on what poverty means to you. And when you talk about, somebody actually told me not too long that, and I'm sure they were not making this up because they mentioned the name of this person who I know, we both know, and said he told them that in Nigeria, you can just be walking and somebody will just stab you, like, so it's so unsafe. While this may be true in most places, most of the time it is not true as well. I feel like so many people paint different pictures and then you're judged or looked at by the way or by what other people have said about Nigeria especially, or about Africa or about Africans. I feel like I can set my own standard. For instance, in my workplace, nobody will come to me 2.5 years later of working in ICU and tell me, Gloria, is there poverty? Except person is new, because they know I've already set a standard, and whoever had come to me in the past, I'd already told them, this is what it is, this is what it is. Don't talk to me about this. Every country has its own challenges, doesn't mean Nigeria is worse. And because it's been displayed to you by media, I'm not saying, look, sometimes I feel like, let's wash our dirty linen inside. Do not wash your dirty linen outside. I don't mind if Africans or fellow Nigerians talking to me about poverty, about insecurity, about whatever. But please, don't come to me with the mentality of superiority, supremacy, and you're trying to now judge me. And I think this is because of the way we've displayed our country, the way other people talked about our country. So many people have different opinion. Like the person that came up to me and told me, another Nigerian told him, an over 83-year-old man was told that Nigeria, if you're just walking on the street, you just get stabbed. So people are so scared and it's so unsafe. That's why everybody's running. Look, that may be true for you, but that doesn't mean it's true for everybody. And I like to have my own point of view. And I think I can maintain that in Scotland, because there are not a lot of people who are Africans or who are black or who are from Nigeria. I don't know if that's how this sounds, but actually, I'm sorry, this is how I feel, and that's the truth. I'm able to maintain my steels. So my respect is intact. Like, my respect is intact. My respect is intact, and it is not being diminished or altered because somebody else who is from Nigeria or is from Africa have a different or wrong opinion about Nigeria. So I constantly maintain my steez as a Nigerian. Yes, take it or leave it, but that is it. And another thing, the fact that there is free university for your first degree in Scotland is also a perk, I think, for my children, if and when we continue to live here and they get to university. Although when I studied I finished in 2023, I think, and I had to pay from pocket. I had to cough out my payment, but because at the time I wasn't qualified for free university and I was not ready to wait, I had the money and I thought, why not? But for children, because it is free, it is also a perk. And although it has its own do's and don'ts, reason why it is, please don't quote me on that. Research. It is being paid for by SAS. I have to look down. Student Award Agency, Scotland. I think in Scotland, we still value ourselves as brothers, as sisters. Look, up until this moment, 6 years later, it has been like this for 6 years since I've moved to this country. Before now, if I see an African, before this 2022, 2023, large flock of people or students or so many people coming to the country when there was a care visa thing, if I see you, an African person or a black skin person, I will park my car or walk up to you and be like, hello sis, what are you doing in Scotland? What are you doing in Fife? What are you doing here? Because I get so excited. Like, I will take your number, I'll tell you about my church, I'll tell you about my family. I'm always so excited. And I think that community is still there. It's not as strong as it used to be because now we have so many people. So many people that sometimes even when you look at them, they just take off their face. But it's not a lot here compared to when you go down there. In England, I've been to England, and it's like other Africans don't want to be associated with you. It's like, I don't know, it's like they think you're like a plague. I think up here, we are still closely knitted. When we see each other, we still appreciate each other. We don't care about your tribe. I'm not saying it's true for everybody, but personally speaking, when I see you, I will definitely look at you eyeball to eyeball and give you a smile. If I cannot come closer to you, I'll just be like, oh sis, hello, and I think that is it. Whatever has its own advantage, definitely we have disadvantages. So these are the few things which I'm not saying I hate Scotland for. I love Scotland. I'm always an advocate for Scotland. And everybody who has come up to me and be like, oh Gloria, I came to Scotland because of you. It's because I'm Scottish advocate. I'm not saying I want Scotland to be overpopulated, but I'm saying there's another thing in my language that says the cloud is wide enough for birds to fly without their wings touching. Okay. Now, some of the things that I wish can be better in Scotland is the weather. Number one, everybody knows that Scotland, we have the coldest, the darkest. The weather is 20 in a day, rainy in summer, cold, freezing. What's the word my Scottish people taught me? Muggy. But I'm not gonna change it for the word. Maybe not. Another thing is that I said, oh my God, I struggled. Look, I had to get Scottish dictionary when I moved to this country. I got the Glasgow one, the East Lothian one, and they are different. The Fifers are different, but it's getting better. It's a bit difficult, but it's better. Sometimes, up to now, when they speak, I still do not understand. So that's one of the things I'm still working towards. And actually do not mind. We learn every day, and I love it. Feeling different. Sometimes in the room, I find myself being the only black person, the only African. Let's say at the gym. Most places that there are white people, I just find myself being the only person. And sometimes it's just weird. Sometimes I don't remember. But sometimes I still remember because at the end of the day, it is what it is. One thing I can also say is that we do not have limited access to African shops or, like most people in England. I went down to England. I think we were in Straw Content. Wow, we went to African shop. We bought and brought it back. Even, let's say, even this crochet header I have on, I bought it from England when we went down there. And I was actually jealous of the fact that there's accessibility to so many things, to the food, to restaurants, to hairdressers, to so many things that, we make a place feel more homely, feel more that you don't feel so, out of your comfort zone. And the final thing is, which I've already talked about, is most of the time I feel like I'm the only African in the room. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's just, I wish there were more. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like I said, this is actually my sincere opinion, and I mean no negativity, I mean no hate, I mean nothing negative to Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, or any part of the world, or even Nigeria. You know I love you and I'm here for you. Let me know what you want me to talk about next in the comment section, and I'll see you very soon, hopefully in the next video. See you later. Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and I'll see you later. Mwah.